What is up, everybody? Welcome to Season 2 of the Side Quest Podcast. We are so excited to kick it off this time with a series and season all about local artists and talent. And joining us today, I'm super happy he could make it, super happy he's here. But we have KURONEKO in the building today, boys! Woo! And without further ado, we're gonna jump right into some questions and you guys get to know his deepest, darkest secrets and everything that goes on in the Seattle rave scene. So, let's roll.
Keep on rolling.
Alright guys, as we said before, we have KURONEKO in the building with us, and we are super glad that he's here, so thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I guess the biggest elephant in the room, and what people who may not know who you are want to know, is what you're wearing and what this is all about, and how you got your name, and what the helmet symbolizes, and all those things. So
my name is KURONEKO. KURONEKO means black cat in Japanese, because I have a black cat at home. And the reason why I named it KURONEKO, because a lot of people think like black cat is a bad juju, or like, have a, bad luck or whatever that is. But to me, it's like, it's just one sweetest cat, just like everybody else. So I want to change that kind of image, and then KURONEKO is actually the sweetest one and awesome and nice, and that's how I kind of, my biggest fan is biggest hero is like deadmau5. That's how I get into the EDM scene. So he's the mouse, so I'm gonna be a cat. I'm gonna chase him, and then eventually I can do B2B with him one day.
Whoa, that's
my
crazy.
goal. Yeah.
Damn. So like with going with that, right? And like you were like identifying and like adopting like this whole black cat persona, and it's because you have it. But even then, how did you even get into DJing? Like, tell us about your first gig compared to like now.
Oh yeah. So I came from the band scene. So I was in a band before.
What'd you play?
Huh?
Where'd you play?
I played at the Nectar Lounge and like all over the place in Seattle, and I was touring a lot in the US, and we had a national tour booked out, but the COVID happened, and then it was all canceled, and everybody got kind of burned out, and the band scene was kind of dying down at that moment. So I was already playing a bunch of like synthesizers and stuff, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing the EDM, and that's kind of how I started the DJ career. And I've been DJing for 2 years now.
Only 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, 2.5 now maybe. Start producing and stuff like that. So
he's like, for only 2 years, you're like arguably the biggest, like if not one of the biggest, like local EDM artists like in Seattle.
Yeah.
no,
right?
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah.
It's crazy to me because we roll around, even at Together as One, we were there, and I think Ravery had one of your KURONEKO stickers like somewhere in there.
Oh, nice.
And people were wanting to buy them because they were like, oh, what is that? That's so cool. But it gave them the opportunity, it gave Ravery the opportunity to kind of tell them a little bit about KURONEKO and their story, which hopefully later on this season we'll get to hear about. I know Ravery teased it in their episode last season. So people know who you are in Seattle.
Yeah, even the MEOW squad too. Like I've seen that sticker around.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
At least in the Seattle rave scene, the EDM scene, you're a pretty well-known figure. People will see your name on the list. I'll even go back to the Halloween show. Dubscribe was the headliner, and a lot of people were there to see him. But I would argue, being in the crowd and doing crowd control, there were more people in the crowd for your set than and so that to me was just like, wow, at least in Seattle you are big. Like
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the collectives too, like they know. Like I was talking with like Sid and and not just know you, love you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like humble.
Even Sergio too. When you
Yes,
Yeah.
Sergio.
I
Yeah,
mentioned
he
you
was
and he was-
dying to
yeah.
He's supposed to come here later today, actually. But
so he wants to meet.
yeah.
We have a friend who started a music collective, Sergio. His artist name is Solio, and he's a big fan of yours. So
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted, to,
Alright, cool.
wanted to meet
Yeah.
you.
I gotta give him my sticker.
Alrighty, we would have loved to have KURONEKO keep on the helmet, but it's just we know it's hot and
So hot.
it's layered and it's black for one, so it
Yeah.
attracts a lot of heat. So you get to see his beautiful face now. But the man behind the mask. Yeah, so I know Michael has a lot of questions. This is both him and Zach's first time meeting KURONEKO. This is I don't know. I kind of known him for a while now, but I kind of want you guys have more questions than I do, so
Right. So okay, the underground scene, right? Getting in there. I mean, just being able to the way things at Under the Bridge organized, or even how you got into that scene. Right, you're already in the music industry
Right.
back then and stuff, but tell me that.
So so the COVID happened, right? And then my band disbanded.
Right.
And then I started doing during that time I'm already team up with my engineer and then hey, I have this concept and I want to make this helmet and I'm gonna do this EDM music and what was that? Was it 2020?
COVID, yeah, probably.
And then 2021 or 2020, I think it's the summertime, there's a underground under the bridge thing going on. And then I never knew about it. And then my friend was like, oh, you should definitely come. And I was like, I don't know, it's COVID, I'm scared, because that time it's nobody knew what it was. So it's I don't know about it. And I saw some videos and I'm like, damn, this looks so much fun. And everybody was smiling and I checked it out one time. It was at the Magnuson Park.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight Freak was throwing that rave, and I went there, and the one rave I went that wasn't Midnight Freak, but the other people, and I went there, and one of the organizer guy, he was like, "Hey, does anyone have a dab or a dab pen? I forgot mine. If anybody has it, I appreciate it." And I was like, "Oh man, if I talk to this guy, maybe I'm gonna have my foot in,
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, I have a dab rig if you wanna smoke in my car." And he was like,
Even
"Fuck
better.
yeah."
He was better.
Yeah, and then I pretty much dabbed him out, and after that, he texted me, "Hey, thanks for the dab," and I actually have a weekend rave in the woods. So if you want to play, and I was like, "Oh, I never played my DJ set before," and then I never made my set, ever. So, but I was like, you know what? I want to hang out with you, so yeah, I'll do it. And then I was like, holy shit, I said yes, what am I gonna do? And anyways, I made my set, and then I played it. That was a 6 o'clock set, PM. So it's no one's really there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who's doing organizing the event was there, and they told me after the show, it's hey, out of the 3 shows, I think a lot of people said your set was the best. And we are doing the Under the Bridge rave this weekend. You want to play? And then I was like, what's the set slot? And then he was like, I have an opener set and the closing set. And I was like, oh, let me do it. And that Under the Bridge rave I played, and it was packed, and so many people. I never felt when I say do this, everybody jump. And I was like, holy shit, this is we are together, synced up, so cool. And after that, I got booked 7 weekends in a row at the Under the Bridge. So I started kind of becoming a kind of like a face of the under the bridge, you know.
Yeah.
And during that time, it was COVID too, so a lot of people's first rave, under the underground rave, was like
With
I was.
you.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
I was so happy to like, kind of like open up their, you know, because that time everybody was like isolated and depressed and all that
right.
stuff, and then this helmet, like they look
They
at
know,
it, and then in a second I can see that it put the smile on their face. So I was like, yes, it's
That's
working.
so
That's
cool.
That's a cool way to start.
He has a song, by the way. He released it last year. It's called "Under the Bridge," and it's kind of his ode to those days. I think is what he was describing it to me. Is like just giving back and saying, "Hey, this song's for you guys. You're the day ones, the people that were there with me at the bridge."
And that was my first like a bass song, and then like a bridge ravers are the one who turned me into the bass music.
Yeah.
Because I was before, like I was like electro house, kind of like a dead mouse style.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm all about bass. So, yeah.
That's the natural progression of a
Yeah.
rave.
It's always like pop BDM into house into.
Yeah, and
Then it slowly gets darker and darker.
Yeah. I mean, now he's working on like way different stuff than probably what he started with, and it's cool to see that progression happen. One thing I want to touch on, and then I'll have Zach ask a question, is, we talked with Ravery a little bit about that story and about how you met, and I think it would be really cool because some of the bridge shows they were there, they helped throw those. How did you? Trevor told us the story of how you guys met, and I'm curious to hear it from your perspective.
What did he say?
He said the first time meeting you was he had known about you because he'd seen your face on Facebook from the pictures of the bridge rave, and they had vended there a few times, so he recognized you. And then he saw you at Base Canyon.
That's
or something.
right. So when I was walking, I was like, damn, this guy's staring at me. And then I was like, I kind of passed him, and I turned around, and I was, damn, he's still looking at me. Like, what the hell? And he didn't talk to me that time.
day,
And later on, he was like, I saw you at the base canyon. I was going to talk to you. And I don't know how I met them, actually. Under the bridge, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what they said is that was like the first encounter where he had some familiarity, and then when they started actually helping throw the
That's
the
right.
show.
Okay, yeah. So one time I met them, and then after that, it's like, hey, let's. I think we talked about like let's team up, and then we did the show Under the Bridge show, like two of them, like twice together, and then it was.
And now you guys can't see it, but we're looking at a picture right here. That's from their most recent show, Ravery Through Halloween show.
Yeah.
At Substation.
Substation in Seattle. He was the headliner. It was amazing. One of my favorite shows of 2023.
Yeah, those both experimental one was sold out, so it was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was such a huge pressure. But it's like headline, so I have to like sell all the tickets. So
We sold tickets. It's crazy because the pre-sale, we didn't sell that many tickets, but then at the door, people were just like climbing to get in. It was insane. They could just hear the music from a mile away, and they were like, "Bro, we need to go in."
That's where we're gonna be. That's a place. That's a place.
And then I just remember because I was running first aid, and I was with KURONEKO was finally going on stage, and he dropped his opening drop for his set, and then all of a sudden the room was like kind of empty a little, like where I was in the backish, during the opener sets, and the minute like the whole room just it was like someone opened a gate somewhere and just a sea of people just stormed in. They're like, KURONEKO's on, we gotta even my roommate came to the show, and I told him like, yo, Dubscribe is headlining this Halloween show, like you gotta come. He came for you. He left before Dubscribe. He's like, dude, he was like, I saw Dubscribe at Lost Lines already. He's like, I came to see KURONEKO. And I was like, let's go.
yeah.
Got another in the Meow Squad. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
we love it. Zach, I don't know if you got anything.
Yeah, I would say my question would be, when you're making your sets, do you try to pull more of your own music? Do you really like to play your own music, or like kind of just weave it in, or do you like to play more remixes? Like, what's your? I haven't seen you play yet either.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
I don't have any like no background with that, but I would like to see you play sometime for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to mix like with my own song too, but Yeah, I usually try not to, like, for example, like, there's like a bass DJ only play rhythm or only play tear out dubstep or something like that. But I kind of play the bass music.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's also, I don't know. How do you describe my set? It's like I have like my song and then like my favorite dubstep song and then every now and then I like to put like boom drum and bass and then like dubstep and then boom mid tempo.
Oh,
that kind of. So I'm always like I get bored very quickly.
Yeah.
So when I make my set, it's like I try not to make myself bored. Like. That's like number one rule.
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining for you to play it.
Right, but it's always like it's all about the people in the dance floor when I play. To me, so it's like when I make my set, I'm always thinking about the ravers and the MEOW squad.
Nice.
It's like oh, MEOW squad love this song. I gotta play it.
I'll answer that too from a listener's perspective because I've heard him play both of his sets. His first experimental and then the Halloween one, and the progression I saw from that. Because at the first experimental, I want to say you played a lot more of your own stuff and a lot more mid tempo, which I love. I love Rez and all the thing. He played y'all follow me on TikTok. I posted it, but he played this really sick double with Edge by Rez and then his song Break It, and that by far has been one of the favorite mixes I've heard ever. But then at experimental, Halloween, I could see that you were like reading the room a little bit more, and he threw in some like D&B, and he was like looping D&B for like I don't know, maybe like I felt like it was like 4 songs. I'm like, oh dude, I keep doing this forever, man. And then boom, out of nowhere, he just like slowed it down, and then like went into like mid tempo and like dubstep, and I was like. Damn, okay. I was like, dude, even my roommate, I looked over and his jaw dropped. He was just like, how did he do that?
Oh, that's awesome.
He went from like, boom, 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 to just like, boom. And then it was like, you go from like jumping to drum and bass to just immediately headbanging. And you're just like, what the hell just happened? Yeah.
Sweet.
I wanted to open the floor before we take a break with some of the new projects that you're working on. I don't want you even to go into detail about anything, but just what should the MEOW squad be excited for? What should our listeners be excited for coming into the new year?
Yeah, so this year, first of all, I have 4 collaborators I'm working with, and so 4 collab songs coming out, and then 1 EP with my friend Bindi. We are releasing the EP together. And yesterday, I don't know if I'm supposed to make a secret or not, but yesterday I started working with AU5's best friend. So he wrote the one single from the new album called Resurrection, and he's a co-writer of it, and then he's actually the AU5's best friend, and AU5 is on the tour and then he's tagging along with them. He was like on the Lost Land, like next to him and then doing that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he was actually my friend from my band sing.
Oh.
And then he hit me up and he was like, oh, I didn't know you were friends with Dubscribe. And then I was like, yeah. Like I just met him and then like we are doing a show together and but I just had a virtual. Oh my god!
We have an OG MEOW squad pulling out.
Let me finish this very quick. What was that? So I'm start doing the working with the AU5's best friend yesterday, and then I sent him my ideas, and he was like, "Oh, I really like this. Like, let's do it together."
No way, dude!
I hope like we can release something, and then he's gonna definitely show that to AU5.
Oh wow!
So,
dude.
Yeah, and then I wrote about like 51 songs in 2023. So and I have like 6 to 8 songs to submit to the labels. So I'm gonna try to blast off.
No way.
That's a lot.
Let's do it. Oh, that's sick.
That is super exciting, and I hope you guys are ready for that. I hope you guys are excited to tune into that. You know, obviously AU5's a big name. Dubscribe even went to go see him when he was in Japan.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of amazing. We're super excited for you. I posted about it on my story on Instagram about how I think 2024 is the year that KURONEKO is going to be more than just Seattle. He's going to be across the nation, across the globe. I mean, just saying he's submitting songs to record labels. I think that is insane, and something that in 2 years' time, 2.5, 3 years' time, you would never think an artist out of Seattle, which again, we'll get into that in the second half about how awesome the Seattle rave scene is and why it helps people like KURONEKO grow and achieve their dreams. And so we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back for a shot break, and we'll get everybody out of here. But thank you guys for tuning in to part one, and we'll see you guys soon. Welcome to part two, everybody, of the SideQuest podcast. We again are back with KURONEKO here, and as you guys know, is tradition on our show. At halftime, we take a shot. Today, we're going back to our roots from the first premiere episode with our bad boy of Henny. So, say a prayer and let's get this shit done, boys. Come by.
Bye.
All right, Yasu. So we got some tea. We got to dig into this part of the show. I know we left off, and we were talking about your projects and everything you're working on with not so secret projects anymore. But hey, SideQuesters, just keep it a secret. All right, we don't want the whole world knowing. But I kind of teased that we would talk a little bit about the Pacific Northwest rave scene, as we always do on the show, as where this show starts and has its roots, and kind of where we all are. We're all Pacific Northwest ravers. And, you know, Yasu is the kingpin of Pacific Northwest raving over here. And we really just want to ask you, you know, you were mentioning your experience of the MEOW squad and on the break, you're talking about what Dubscribe had to tell you about your fan base, and in your eyes, what do you think is so different or so cool about Pacific Northwest and about EDM, the scene out here, whether it be upcoming artists or the ravers, or you know, from your own experience as an artist and having fans of your own, the MEOW squad? I just am curious what you.
Yeah, I think. To me, Seattle scene is definitely a lot more than just the EDM community. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but Seattle is definitely like bass state. You know, like we have like probably the most amount of like, you know, like dubstep fans, and like Denver too. Like Denver and Seattle, like, you know, these two states are like.
Let's go, bass heads.
Yeah, bass heads. So, that's kind of like tells me that a lot of people actually getting into the EDM a lot deeper than a bunch of other states, because it's like some like mainstream EDM and all that. That's kind of easy to get in, but those bass scene is like you kind of have to go through a lot of EDM music, and then everybody kind of get into the bass music a little by little, and then boom, you know. So to me, when I see all these like, you know, ravers, I was like, wow, they're very like knowledgeable about like a lot of songs, and like, you know, they're like, because they mentioned about like, oh, when you did this and that mix, like it was so cool, and I'm like, wow, they know all the songs. You know? So that's one of the things. Like I think Seattle ravers are a lot more what? How do you call it?
Just
deeper
louder.
into the culture.
I think there's passionate. It has that culture around music.
Right.
I mean, and as a musician myself, like someone who likes music, you know, I didn't actually start with EDM. I listened to a lot of music. I played trombone and like I was brass and all those things. but it's been known, even over the course of history, Seattle in general has been a music city. Right. Nowhere near as big as like New Orleans, for example, or like New York. But in terms of, Seattle has a genre that it started, grunge. Like grunge music is from Seattle, Nirvana from Seattle, Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters. They all get their roots from Seattle, and it's crazy you say bass, right? Because grunge is a form of metal, grunge is a form of rock, and I think Seattle has always had this love and this affinity and this joy for that nasty,
the dark.
Yeah, that dark, like.
Why do you think?
It's just like counterculture. Almost.
Yeah,
like you think of like pop EDM on one end of the spectrum, and then bass music's like.
You have the chain smokers up here, you've got Zed up here, and then you just got fucking Excision. Everyone's just like stank face, just like, oh, what the, and it's just it's always there in your mouth, and your face hurts the next morning. But we joke about it all the time, but I think that's why Sullivan King keeps coming back. I think like that's why he loves it here. Just because we are his people, like low key, and like all these big artists. It's crazy to me that Warped Tour used to come to Spokane, Washington. Like metal, death metal, rock and roll. That all has its roots, and so that really translates to the EDM scene with dubstep, tear out dubstep, mid tempo. Rez sold out her show here in April of 2022. So like. Anything bass. People like to feel the bass. And
even like we're getting a third day of Cyclops Dome this coming year.
Yeah. Subtronic's coming back too. Like, he's competing with Excision at this point. But
and it's crazy too, because it's like when I was in the band scene, I never had fans or people like consistently looking for shows. Like this EDM scene is like. Everybody's like, I get a message every single weekend. What's the move tonight? What's the move tonight? I was like, we just had a show 2 days ago, and like you're already like, so thirsty for another show, and then they just go for 1 year straight, just no break.
That was like my last 2023 for me.
Bro, dude,
say it. Get this guy.
Zach has a record, I think. You hold the record.
I think I went to close to like 40 shows last year.
Holy shit.
So it was basically every weekend plus festivals. And I was pretty much like, who's playing this weekend? Who can I go see?
Did you go to EDC?
No, I went to Ultra last year.
Oh,
and
nice.
then I went to Bass Canyon and.
Oh, cool. You gotta do an EDC though.
It's on my list for
EDC is like Bass Canyon times 10.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because there's like stages are crazy. Because I saw when the Subtronics and Grizztronics playing, and then right next to it is like Marshmello and the Sudden Death B2B.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I have to go like, okay, I watched that for 15 minutes, and I'm gonna go to see this one, and then like back and forth. It's crazy.
That's so insane. And we talked about this in the car ride, and I kind of want to ask you because I was, you had asked like have Michael, and Zach because they've never met you before tonight, and you were like, oh, have they ever been to like a bridge show, or have they ever been, and I know you guys are just kind of now becoming a little bit more, having Raver on the show, familiar with those burners and with like the more underground scene.
Yeah.
And the bridge show was kind of like. I never met Yasu at the bridge show like Monkfi did, but he was there when I was there, obviously. That was his show that he was headlining, and that was when I started to realize how much bigger like the Seattle rave scene is than just you talk about like LA ravers, you talk about East Coast ravers in like all the the South, like in all the shows in the South, and you talk about like, oh yeah, they're always posting, all the influencers come from those areas, and I don't think one time have I really seen any of them go to like an underground show. It's always those big EDC, Ultra, Bonnaroo,
just bigger festivals.
Imagine, and then headline shows like Subtronics at the Brooklyn Mirage or some shit like that, or like Elenium at the Armory or Trilogy, something like that, But I think Seattle, what's so different, and it's kind of like what I read from the Radiate message that they left to Ravery, is Seattle is fiending for like that underground shit. We love going to Cyclops Dome. We love seeing our headliners. We love seeing our mainstream EDM artists. but any chance we get to see, you know, fucking just go to Trinity and see, you know, Megatron perform or Sid perform,
or I mean, even we go to Voodoo and see like all the
Milo
like,
House.
Milo House.
yeah, like we just go support local. I feel like Seattle has this really cool experience, and I know that's why I wanted to ask you, right, what your experience has been, because you as a local artist have seen that firsthand, how we care so much. And this is not me like slandering or bashing other rave scenes, because I know that they care so much about what they do as well. But I think what's so cool about here in the Pacific Northwest is local artists have a lot of pull as well. It's not just it's not like your Subtronicses that are like pulling people.
Mm-hmm.
As I said on break, like KURONEKO had more fans and more people for his set than Dubscribe did at the Halloween show. And Dubscribe's one of those big artists, you know, he's signed to Subsidia, 10,000, played Lost Lands, Space Canyon, all that stuff. And just to see that firsthand on my own end, how many people showed up just to support you, my roommate included, it's like, we want that. We want our local artists. We value all the talent and I think that's why we want to make season 2 all about local artists, because we value that. We want to elevate their voices. We want to make them heard and make them seen, because I'm a kind of person, I know Michael's the same way with Immortal Entertainment. You see talent, you know talent, you elevate talent. That's how it works. I listened to Yasu's music for the first time, KURONEKO's music for the first time, and I'm just like, how is this guy not big? Like, this guy should be like main stage somewhere. Like, how is this guy not? How are you not? You know, Thunderdome, Base Canyon lineups. Like, how are you not at EDC lineups? You know, even if it's not main stage, but how are you at least just not there? You know, I look at all these other artists. You know, all the artists that open for you at Halloween. I'm just like Sid MF Dang, that back to back.
Oh, dude!
My mind was blown. I was like, holy crap, like they are actually cooking. Like they are.
I mean, even last week when we went to Codex, like Codex put on last week.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Legacy with Numos was
fucking
so
insane.
good.
I saw videos and I was like, dude.
They were throwing down in there. It was really good.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into the Legacy.
Yeah.
Because they're all
Legacy, if you're watching.
They also like all do the like Asian DJs.
They did a bunch of back to back. Yeah, no, it was good.
It was like the cool thing about that show that Zach's mentioning too is it was a charity event and all the proceeds went to Asian American mental health collectives across the Seattle area. So like that's even cool.
That's cool. Super cool.
Super.
But like that's just what I'm saying is, bro, you guys just turn up on a, you know, random local artists. No, they're not, you know, they're not even KURONEKO level. Like these are just startups, you know, and they throw it out and you're like, bro, we're there, we're headbanging, we're having a good time. Like y'all didn't sleep till like 7 a.m. I heard. So
Dude, I think so too. He's like a lot of people say that like music industry like super cutthroat, and I think so too. Like probably, but like at least in my experience, everybody and all the artists and like dude, like Yasu, Exhibit A, right, right. Just like everybody wants to help each other grow. Everybody's just like I don't know. They're just so helpful, giving, even right, hospitable, and just to like help each other, promote each other, put each other on, right? You know, like oh yeah, we play at VU. Oh, would you want to play? like is your music cool? Like yeah, your music's cool. Yeah, come. You know, like
even our own friends like Rod, like Radope and Alex, like bro, they just got asked to play Trinity and now they're booked to play what was it like? I think they're playing like VU now or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like and bro. I've been saying from the beginning, you need to meet Rod. You would love him.
Yeah.
I went to a house party and he started DJing and he was cooking and throwing down. I was like, bro, I tried to get him signed to like some of the ravery shows because I was like, dude, you need to play. People need to hear you mix. And he'd start like 6 months.
Oh, nice.
He had just been doing it for 6 months and
man.
he just already was so good. And I was like, dude,
shout out Rodolphe.
yeah, I was like, I know talent when I see it, man, and like you need to be he's made it. He's there. He's playing, you know, at Trinity and stuff like that.
When he played at Trinity, Lucy was playing that night at Trinity too.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they're playing at the Red Room. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but I guess I want to, you know, take it back to you and, you know, how has Seattle ravers, Pacific Northwest ravers, because you're not from Seattle originally, you know,
Right.
you're from Japan, and how has that impacted your life? I'm just curious. Like, there's so much that can be said, but I'm talking specifically as like an artist. How is it just
Like the Seattle or Seattle rave scene?
Seattle? Oh, both.
Yeah.
Let's just go
Whatever you
both.
want.
I mean, I came over here to do music, so it's just the music in Japan and the music here is completely different. And Japan is, to me, it's still 10, 15 years behind.
Oh.
They're still doing like band stuff is pretty hot there, you know. And EDM is like kind of coming up, but it's not like here, you know.
Yeah.
Because EDM here is it's the main thing now. You know, pop music is EDM pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it just Seattle thing is it's all about people to me. You know, my fans, my friends and family, and even MEOW Squad, they're the one who inspires me every day and then give me the power to pursue the music. So it's like, yeah, because to me it's like without them, I'll be nobody, you know. Yeah, so it's, I cherish them like so much, and then my goal is because they're giving me so much love and like support. Like I wanna get. I wouldn't say famous, but I wanna get there where I wanna be, and then I wanna celebrate with all the people who's been supporting me. You know, so. My goal is like I'm gonna play at the main stage at Gorge, and then all the MEOW Squad is watching me in the behind my stage, and I can bring them together and then jump together. You know, that's gonna be a good like best celebration, and you guys gonna be there too. And then during my show, you guys can like podcast and interview me. What do you do now? It's like, I'm busy, but I'm having a food. Yeah.
You know, and that's again back to the Seattle scene. I think that's what's so cool is it's this symbiotic relationship where we support our artists and they give back.
Yeah.
You know, there's a I remember because we were spamming that comment section, but there was an artist that was like, I want to give back to like all the local talents that have opened for me in the past, like throw your ads down and like let's get you opening for some of my shows like on tour. It was like I want to say it was like
Probably Ray.
I think it was Ray Volpe.
Oh wow!
I think it was Ray
Probably
Volpe
was
because
Ray.
you messaged it to me and then you messaged it to the Starfam chat and then you were like, "Hey guys, like, blow my name up in the comments. Like, let's make 2024 a big year." You know, Ray really. I want to get him on the show too because like Ray
he really cares.
really embodied because Ray was just like you. He was a garage DJ. Like he was just making music out of his fucking garage.
Ray Volpe?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
He's so good.
It was like all the way until he came out with Laserbeam. It was just like
Laserbeam was his viral
Laserbeam
song.
was what brought him out.
Like we were talking,
need one.
you just
One
need
song.
that one
Just
song.
need
You need that one laser beam that X's and drops with all the lasers and everyone goes nuts for, and they're like, "Who made this song?" And then that was me, bro. Like, because if we listen to like I'm Peaking podcast when they interviewed him, that's what he was saying. Like he started from nothing. Like he
was about to quit before he dropped
Yeah.
the song too.
he like
Wow, really?
he wasn't gonna drop laser
He
beam.
wasn't gonna drop it. He was gonna end his career there.
He was gonna end his career, and someone told him that no, you gotta drop laser beam. He dropped laser beam, and now his life's forever been changed.
Yeah.
Never give up, huh?
Yeah, but it's like literally like you, like grinding every single day. You said you had 60 tracks, you know, that you have ready to send to record labels, right? And all it takes is one of those 60.
Yeah.
And that's how he got his name. And I think that's why he cares. He knows there's so many starving artists out there like you, like, you know, a lot of people, and they want to, you know, make it big, and or not even make it big, but you know,
They just want to grow.
they're so talented. Why let it just die
Right,
where it stands? You know, including you. I mean, just your testament of fans in Seattle, I think, shows that people come to see you and watch you perform,
that's
hitting you up
pretty-
every
that's pretty
weekend,
cool,
like you
yeah.
say, like, what's the move? And so I really have no other questions really that I wanted to ask. I really just wanted to hone it in on that impact that Seattle has, because, you know, I'll say this from our perspective, I think, as the SideQuest podcast. Michael and I have been talking, because I'm a super pessimistic person, and I tend to think, like, things are worse off than they really are. And Michael's like, dude, I, like, walk down the street, and people are like, yo, you're part of the podcast, aren't you? Like, even we, all of a sudden, have some kind of this, people recognize us.
Nice.
And bro, like, we like, I'm sitting there looking at analytics, like I always do, because I'm always like, how many views are we getting? How many listens are we getting? Because that's how, that's how you gauge popularity. That's how you gauge where you're making it. And, like, just seeing, like, 100-something listens on our premiere episode, like, first season, and not knowing what the fuck we were doing. Over 100 listens across all platforms. Fucking insane.
Yeah.
And listens is gauged by Spotify, like, cover to cover. They listen to all hour and 30 minutes of our show.
Oh, wow.
How about just rambling?
Yeah, it's gotta be like drunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were not sober, and it was bad. But 130 people, and then Ravery's episode had like 35 listens, and our part 2 episode had another like 40, 50 listens. And I hope this one will have
100,000. 100 million.
Like you said, you get big, you want to pull people with you. We're the same way, right? And that's why we love having people like you on our show, having people like, if I showed you our schedule sheet, it's you first, and then we've got Sid, Steve,
Nice.
Dang, and we've got Megatron and Sinful. Like, we're pulling everybody into our
I
artist.
booked all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the locals,
And
bro.
that's why it's so poetic that we start with you.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Because we started with you. Yeah.
And we're pulling all of them. I know Megatron, she's working on her, like, producing now. Like, she's making her first track ever. And so I messaged her. I was like, hey, yo, like, if you have a little bit ready, like, you can drop it on our show, like, a little sneak peek. She's like, I'll probably only have 30 seconds. I'm like, 30 seconds all we need, man. Like,
Yeah.
10 seconds, 5 seconds all we need. Like, you just drop it. That's kind of the same. We're the same way. I like that our visions align, where, you want to pull MEOW Squad with you if you're on that stage, main stage, and you're bumping. You want them there. You want them hyping you up and hyping the crowd up. We want the same thing. If we're big, if we're ever as big as I'm Peaking and pulling 7 Lions, we'll bring you on. And we'll be like, hey, yo, like, 7 Lions, check out our boy, KURONEko over here. Get him
It'll
signed.
probably be the other way around, to be honest.
It'll be the other way around. I think this is your breakout year.
Yeah,
But if not, be like, hey, yo, 7 Lions, sign him to Ophelia, bro. Like, get him working, get him cooking. Like, but that's really what I love, that our visions align. And with Ravery, same thing. We talked a lot about that. And that being said, you guys are going to have to listen to the whole season 2, because we're going to end it very special. We're going to have Yasu back. He's going to cook. He's going to throw some sneak peeks in there. And we're going to have Ravery back, to where it all started, how I met him through them. And it's just going to be... It's going to be my favorite. It'll probably be my favorite episode I've ever shot for this show. That said, thank you.
Thank
you for
you.
coming.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
an honor to have you here, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think every artist that's going to be on the show after you is going to be like, bro.
That's a lot to follow.
Like you said, I booked them. They're going to be like, yo, we really got to cook now. So,
That's true. That's actually true, though. That's crazy.
so thank you so much for coming.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it.
Thank you for all the Japanese snacks.
Yeah.
So good.
We want to ask you, SideQuesters, to give him a send-off for safe travels. He's going to be going to Japan for a bit, hanging with Dubscribe. And
Yeah.
we'll go into that story in the finale episode, so stay tuned to that.
Yeah.
Him and Dubscribe, they're buddies, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so sick. And Dubscribe, if you're watching, by the way, we got your boy on the show.
I just talked to him today.
You just talked to him today. We got your boy on the show. I know it's kind of hard, your English is not the greatest, but we would love to have you on the show.
I'll translate.
Yeah, he'll be here to translate.
Yeah, bring him back. We'll fly us to Japan, man.
Yeah, Dubscribe, if you're watching this, your song is our intro song to our podcast that you so graciously let us use. And, we would love to have both you guys back and talk about that friendship and how that started.
That'd be so cool.
And so, like I said, thank you guys. Thank you, side questers. Thank you, KURONEKO, Yasu, whatever you want us to call you. Or KURONEKO is Yasu. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And we love you, side questers. And as always, keep on rolling.